Hey guys, I'm alive, I'm alert, and I'm caffeinated. Today's topic of conversation, as you probably already know from the title of this video, is your fantasy self and your real self, and knowing the difference between comparison. This video came up when I was actually sitting down and I was going over, all right, so this is me, this is actually how I do things, and then I created a fantasy self one of like things that in the moment, this is something that I'll think that I want to go do, but then I'm not actually going to go do it. So I have created a list of those things, but at first I want to kind of give you the definition of what a fantasy self is. I have my own definition, but then I also looked it up on the internet, and I'm just going to give you my interpretation of it. So your fantasy self is that kind of identity that when you're out shopping or you are online looking at something and you go, oh, I love that. That could totally be me. But then you don't actually go and do those things, or you don't actually So example, let's say you went and bought a top from some cute boutique and you're like, oh my God, yes, I love this. Totally, it fits my aesthetic. But then you never wear it. That's because your fantasy self purchased that item thinking, I'll wear this. I'm gonna be so cute in that next photo I take. And then you never take the photo or you never wear the item. So I'll give you some examples for myself when I actually go over my list. Because hearing that my definition of it probably isn't a very good description of like what it actually is. And I don't want to read this definition because it's like fantasy prone personality, and I think everyone has that. They have like some idea of like how they see themselves, so I don't really want to go over that definition, so we're not going to do that. Which is coffee. My pineapple Yeti cup that I have completely destroyed. I will never get rid of it though. It is my favorite cup ever. Okay, so this is basically how I've categorized this list. I put a me at the top and I did a fantasy self at the bottom. So anytime I would think of something like shopping, I would go, okay, well, this is what I actually do, and this is what I wish I did. So let's start. So me, I shop at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. I don't go anywhere else because that is the place that I can get a $12 t-shirt that will last me for a month. And I actually haven't been shopping at TJ Maxx and Marshalls in quite a while, so that's good. Because I'm doing this whole like trying not to buy things. I've actually been really good about clothes. I used to be a shopaholic, which that's a video for a whole other time. We'll get on that some of the day. And so my fantasy self shops at boutiques, wears the latest brands. Yeah, catching on. Me, I'm pale. I'm like a white piece of paper. I'm very pale. My fantasy self is a little bit tanner. She has this really nice bronze, glowy, tan skin. Now, when I was little, I used to have this tan skin because we lived by the beach, and so we went to the beach all the time. But I am not tan. I do not go out in the sun willingly. And if I do, I am piled up with sunscreen. I cannot be out in the sun without sunscreen. Another thing is, for me, like this said video, I hardly get ready and I hardly wear makeup. And when I do wear makeup, I prefer to go all out. And when I do get ready, I prefer to go all out. But I don't always do it. Now, my fantasy self is, I always do it, and I'm always got makeup on. I actually know somebody who I went to school with that I also worked with too. She was amazing. Like, she always dressed up. She had the cutest clothes. She always wore makeup. Even if it wasn't like glam makeup, which is something that I like to do. In my definition of glam, I like to get all glammed up. She was amazing. Like, she just was amazing. She looked amazing. She was everything that I wanted to be. Everything that I still technically want to be. Still kind of finding that, where am I, what do I do in between stuff. So the next thing is that I have like this wicked sense of style. That's my fantasy self. But I don't. It's called yoga pants and a t-shirt. And that is mostly what I wear when I'm not wearing my Best Buy uniform. So I don't have a wicked sense of style. Another thing too about me is that I get aggravated very easily. And when I'm aggravated, I'm not very kind all the time. So my fantasy self, somebody who is a lot nicer. And I'm not gonna actually say what I wrote on here about myself when it comes to that, because that's when I started to notice that I was comparing myself instead of like just going over things that I wanted to buy or I did buy and then never use. I actually started to use words that would be a comparison. And that is where this video has come from. So yes, I know that I could be super kind and super friendly all the time, but I know how I am. I get very aggravated half the time. And most of the time I go silent if I get aggravated. I'm actually a very talkative person, so I have no problem being friendly. I'm actually very friendly. But I find that it gets harder and harder for me to do these kinds of things at my job. Just because I am getting to the point where I'm kind of tired of always having to be super kind and super friendly. And so the other me comes out. And I'm not always the sweetest person. Now, I will never be rude or mean to anyone on purpose. This is always when I've been, what is the word? If someone is being rude or mean to me. If it's been nagged on, I'm not me anymore. I don't deal with it. This is who I am. This is how I am. Yes, I could be a little bit more kind and a little bit more friendly than what I am, and that's something I could probably work on. That's not a fantasy self. That is a realization that that I'm not always the sweetest, and I probably should work on that. You know what I'm saying? It is not a fantasy self, real self deal. It is a comparison that I need to stop doing. Copper's head is in the video. Yes, yes, yes. Another thing that I saw too was that, you know, I have a lot of money. That's my fantasy self. I don't have a lot of money. I'm actually a working actor who is paying her dues. So maybe sooner or later in the future, I will have a lot of money, but I don't have a lot of money. I'm already an award-winning actor. That would be so great, wouldn't it? Something else too, I'm like super fit. Like super fit. Like I go to the gym every single day and I'm amazing and I eat all this great food. And that's not the case. I'm not super fit. There are areas that I'm constantly trying to improve on that I beat myself up about almost every day, that I need to go work on those areas and then I don't. So those are things mentally that I need to work on, especially, excuse me, I keep like burping and it's like really disgusting, but like I'm not gonna edit it out because I'm lazy. But that's like something that I need to work on, just being more active. Oh, hello. Yeah, just being way more active than what I already am. And what is another thing on here too? Oh, something else that I noticed too is like, so I guess this is like a better example than like the clothes, because when I think about it, it just makes more sense. So I really love a really good colorful lipstick. So if it's like a blue, I love it. If it's like a purple, I really love those colors. But I do not wear those colors every day. And actually, I hardly wear them. And it'd be like months until you see me wear another blue lipstick. The only one I have is the Anastasia Requiem lipstick. Why does my voice sound so weird? I don't know. I actually gravitate to more nudes. So all of my Jeffree Star nude lipsticks that I have, I will pick those up before I pick anything else. And so that's a difference between like my fantasy self and my real self, is that comparison. Oh, I also think that like I look super cute in like really sexy dresses, but I don't. I feel like a child when I put those on and I'm like, this is not for me. Take it off. Throw it away. Don't throw it away because it's beautiful. But take it off. Give me something else that's a little more conservative. I'm quite conservative when it comes to a lot of my clothing. I don't like really any of this to show. But in my head, I think, oh yeah, I like to have a little cleavage. Just a little cleavage hang out. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Why not? If you got it, flaunt it. So basically, my whole purpose of this list that I have compiled is I am getting more into a minimalistic approach to things. I am trying to incorporate more minimalism into my life and recognizing the difference between your real self and your fantasy self. It's very important because then you'll know, okay, well, this is what my fantasy self likes to go do. I don't really like to go do those things. Don't go do them, or don't go and buy them. I wish I had like a better example clothes-wise. Rayon, that's like the perfect example. I do not like rayon. I hate the fabric. My first apartment, we had washers and dryers in the complex that were like the old machinery washer and dryers. You put the coin in, it works, bam, done. They tore up a lot of my clothes and made a lot of my clothes shrink. Now that wasn't just those washers and dryers, but rayon is a fabric that you use for dry cleaning, and you don't necessarily are supposed to wash it at home. Didn't put it in the dryer, I hung dry it, so I mean, I took care of my stuff. But I do not like rayon. Never again. The next time I go clothes shopping, I will make sure it doesn't have rayon in it. I actually got rid of a lot of my clothes that have rayon in it. I cannot stand the fabric. But my fantasy self is like, oh my God, this top is so adorable. It's got rayon in it. I'll just buy it just because. I'm not gonna wear it if it's got rayon in it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. So I really want to know from you guys if you have thought about these things, if maybe this video strikes up a conversation, if you go home and you start thinking, because honestly, it was just one of those out of the blue moments for me where I was like, wait a minute, I don't like doing those things. Why am I buying it or doing the subject? Like, if you find yourself thinking about that, or that notion pops up in your head of, oh, I have to have this because it'll look so good when I do Instagram photos and all that good stuff, then let me know down below, because I really want to start a conversation on it. I want to figure out if there are other people who have thought about it, who've gone, oh, well, my fantasy self is like this, and you know, it's very important to declutter your fantasy self, because then you're getting rid of that notion of like, bye, this is what I do, this is what I think I am, and it's just a whole mess. So that was the topic of today's conversation. So yeah, let me know down below. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I am trying to hit 50 in the next several months. I think that would be really awesome. I have 36 subscribers now, so thanks. Thank you everyone who has subscribed. You're amazing. You're the best. But if you're not subscribed, do subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified anytime I upload. I upload Monday through Fridays. Not every Monday and Friday, but that Monday and Friday are usually the days that I'll be uploading. And I'm going to be way more consistent about it. So, yeah. So, peace out. Bye, guys.